have a card here that I got for the girls at Dove Harbor. It's just like a friendship, encouragement type card. I'd like to get all the poets to sign it if they would. I'm going to pass it around. And books are for sale for $10. You can see Phil. As you know, this project, it directly benefits the women and the children at Dove Harbor. So I'd like to introduce Stacy to come up and talk about the money that we've raised so far. So Stacy.
Hello. I want to thank everybody for being here. This means a lot. So far we've raised $255, but that does not include the Amazon sales. So, because those get paid like every month, and the next one is due September 29th, I think it is. So today we're just presenting the check or the money for $255. But there's been a lot of poets that have ordered books on Amazon, so we'll be giving them that money pretty soon. So, and it looks like we got a pretty good turnout here. Anderson TV is here recording us. And do you know about when this will be on the air? Or you can't tell?
All in good time.
Okay. All right, well, we have a sign-up sheet. Hopefully everybody signed it. And if you haven't signed it, hopefully you will later. So, all right, well, thank you.
It'll probably, in all honesty, it'll probably be on in about a week or two, and you won't have, if you don't have Comcast or Uverse, which is where we broadcast, we also post everything to the city's YouTube site, so you can see it at your leisure and not depend on the schedule itself. So you have those three options.
Okay, at this time, can we have Cherilyn from Dove Harbor come up? We'd like to present you with some money. She's also going to read from the book.
Thank you. What an honor to represent Dove Harbor today. My coworker Andrea Carlisle is actually the staff member that wrote the foreword in the book, so I don't know if any of you have met her. She wasn't able to attend today, so she asked if I would represent us in her place. So thank you to all of you that have participated and wrote poems for this. What a neat thing that you've used your gifts and your talents and your skills to benefit Dove Harbor. So thank you all. They've asked me to read the foreword today, and so please allow me to do that. Madison County, Indiana is a community that actively supports the disenfranchised, the hurting, and those broken by the struggles of life. Dove Harbor, Madison County's largest transitional shelter for women and women with children, seeks to provide a safe haven for those who are facing crisis and to be hope within the community. To benefit Dove Harbor and offer a reflection of the healing and hope taking place in Madison County, Janine Pickett and Stacy Savage have graciously poured their hearts into gathering and publishing a collection of local poetry. What you hold in your hands is a demonstration of the power of words. These poems, written by those who live within our neighborhoods, are intended to bless us, bring about feelings of hope, and perhaps challenge us by showing us some of the hurt and hope that exists within our community. If they accomplish the purpose for which they've been written, these words will resonate within your soul and be etched on your mind and heart like a beautiful work of paint on a canvas. Like no other, this collection of poetry represents the heart of the community, and it reaches to those places where pain tends to hide and joy is released. I've had the privilege and honor to work at Dove Harbor as the resource developer since 2015. Seeing transformational change within our residents has been an amazing experience. Many of the women there find healing through their own artistic expressions, experiencing the power of words when those come forth from deep within. Dove Harbor is honored to be a part of the Madison County community and to continue to reach the women and their children who are facing crisis. We are blessed by the efforts of Janine, Stacy, and the Madison County Poets Society, and extremely grateful to have been offered the proceeds from sales of this book to further the work of the Harbor. May you too be blessed by this wonderful collection. And those are the words of Andrea Carlisle, the resource developer at Dove Harbor. She's also the author of the book, The War That Came Home. Thank you.
The photo frame, I saw it there. She lives almost in flight. For who imagined toes could hold and lift her now alight? They sit before her watching. They whisper, ever watching. The stage is stained in cherry. She walks upon it weightless. It sings as she is weightless. It creaks though she is weightless. It creaks a varnished mirror. She dances melody. The music now an echo, they sit before her watching, and lift her now a light. She dances ever graceful. The moment stopped in time, the moment cannot cease. Somewhere in time, a ripple on the water. The crowd enwrapped, a silence, amazed and ever watching. She pauses briefly on her toes, this gravity defies. Her toes, how can they lift? Her toes extend, unfold. Her toes, they grieve and grip. Her toes, they sing and hold. She spins the dancing flight, and almost to a blur. A flash catches the frame, the crowd, alive for her. The photo speaks, and you can hear, it speaks in black and white. And to imagine toes could hold and lift her now, a light.
The American veteran stood on the stage, tearful and trembling as he talked, reliving the hell that was Okinawa 5 decades ago, when he fought a relentless foe and lost such good young friends. He tottered at the lectern on his one good leg, and as he tearfully finished and turned to leave, he dropped his cane. As he stumbled and began to fall, a hand reached out from behind and grabbed his arm, and he turned to look at his helper. One of the Japanese veterans had hobbled to his side, and throwing down the crutch that aided his one-legged stride, said in heavily accented English, "Here, friend, let me be your other leg." And they walked away arm in arm off the stage, comrades in survival. Winter reveals the tree's inner nature like X-rays showing the intricate systems spread out like veins, nerves, and bones. No leaves to mask their age. Young trees, slender branches lifting straight into the sky as if in prayer or meditation. Older trees, thicker branches, some bowed, knotty, amputations, arteries eaten by unseen invaders. In their upper reaches, squirrel and bird nests appear as cancerous growths. And then there are the dead trees, obese, torn trunks, bark like peeling skin, branches akimbo, some detached, resting in their neighbors' arms. Like monuments, crosses, these trees tell a tale of the final days, the ravaging we all face in the end. As my love is tied against the ropes, the diseases delivering jarring jabs but no knockout blows, I watch outside the ring, observing the slow destruction of the body for which I ache. I want to embrace her. But she is in the ring with disease. The referee, death, ignores the headbutting and blows beneath the belt. I want to jump into the ring to stand in for her, take it on the chin. But the best I can do is wait in her corner with a bucket of fear for her to spit in and a towel of love to wipe away the sweat and tears and blood.
The pillars embrace me as I cross the threshold, leaving behind frenzied drivers to be immersed in serenity. That inner connection awakens, breastbone to fingertips, where it lingers like a soft shawl placed with gentle, loving hands. The trees that line the avenue offer welcome and protection, even when winter, wind and snow howl to announce visitors. The nearby labyrinth whispers, "Come to me, step with me, embrace the gift of inner peace that I offer to calm your spirit." I leave my burdens at the pillars, knowing they will be with me when I leave, but resolving to change how I respond to them. For this is the truth of renewal of self, for to carry burdens means I am fully alive.
Gunnar, you don't know it yet, but you're my hero. You make me want to soar, but also garishly roar. Because Mama is pretty protective already of her unborn baby. I can't wait to see you, but I know we have to part. Just know you will always be attached to my strung out heart. Sometimes I wish things were differently, not just in my life, but for other people. I think about this when I care the most. I'm not the most caring person, but I do care, and I am charitable. Today I cared enough to go out before the day got gloomy. You see, it was hard enough to sleep with a forming child invading the cavities of my belly, and it doesn't help that his father, bless them both, also invades my sleep. So yes, I dealt with that in my questionable retail workload. Then went home, spilt food, cried, ate a coffee macaron as I sat on my fiance's groin, then preferred not to reach out to consciousness from the somewhat steady slumber that beset me, not until the rain was about to fall. So here I am, small park, fountain, ivy. I'll rescue myself and my grapes before the heavens bleed further wrath into my life. But here's to a positive difference of God's blessings raining onto hopeful dirt.
She looked in the mirror, and this is what she saw. Auburn curls piled high on her head, sparkling eyes of azure blue, skin like a baby's, creamy and soft, red lips offering a promise or two. She picked up her brush, rearranged her tress, and lightly tinted her cheeks with blush. She powdered her face, adjusted her dress, smiled at the mirror, complete success. Then carefully, she plucked gray hairs from the brush, and slowly she rose from the vanity stool. She got to her feet with a small cry of pain, stumbling a little from a catch in her knee. She took a deep breath, picked up her cane, and gingerly walked to the parlor for tea. I never really noticed him before. He was just there, a tall, dark shadow in the ivied hall. I didn't see his dignity, his gentle air, the firm determination of his jaw. He looked like all the rest of them who lived beyond the track. I never really noticed him. His skin was black. And then one day the trumpets blew, and drummers beat a cadence for our marching feet, and gray ships sailed across the sea, and cannons roared, and shrapnel flew. And I was there, and so was he. I never really noticed then his skin was black. We were just two lonely soldiers far from home. And we could walk, and we could talk our common yesterdays, and share each other's dream of days to come. For he was brave when I was most afraid, and he could laugh when I could only cry. When I would curse, he raised his head and prayed. When I dared not, he gave me strength to try. And then one day the enemy charged up our hill and overran the outpost that we kept. But just before we reached our line, his big boot touched a hidden vine. And while the battle round me raged, I held him in my arms and wept.
Find me, O Lord, in my overwhelming darkness. Do you hear me when I cry out to you? Where are you when my spirit is drained and lacking? I am beyond disappointment and disaster. I am on the far side of despair and defeat. Complete loneliness overtakes me. Come, pass by me like you did Elijah in the wilderness. Tell me what to do with this angry energy. Troubles come like a hurricane with power and strength to weaken me. Difficulties shake my life like an earthquake and confuse my thinking like a fire. I feel consumed by challenges that surround me. But you, O Lord, are not in the powerful hurricane, the forceful earthquake, or the consuming fire. You come with a gentle, quiet, healing whisper. Still my soul, Quiet my spirit so that I may listen. Allow me to hear and consider again your ever-present love and all-inclusive grace. May I wrap my mind around how you will never, ever leave me. Whisper to me and permit me to understand how you have overcome the world and its troubles. I surrender again to you. Here is my heart with its disappointment and disaster. Here is my heart with its despair and defeat. I will trust all that you are today, all that you were yesterday, all you will be tomorrow, for all of eternity. Breathe on me. Whisper to me. I sense your presence now. Amen and amen. 3 darling Wimes came to our house to play. Zipper was first, and she came on a day that was delightfully summery and ready for play with 3 little children who had wanted a puppy, and they rather did think they were quite lucky that Daddy had worked, and this was part of his pay. Zipper was sturdy and tall for her breed, but her obsession with chewing just didn't fit our need. So when we moved and she was not allowed to go off to my sister, she went with a heave-ho. 10 years passed before Cinnamon moved in. Our children had grown and we were alone, and I wasn't sure if this would work by then. Puppies are cute and will tickle your heart. Cinnamon did just that and soon was a part of our daily life in this new house that was ours. She was with us always, even planting the flowers. Cinnamon was mom to the new ginger pup who came 2 years later and made us crack up with her antics and silly head turns she would do with her small litter mates as they played 2 by 2 out in the yard in their puppy soft silver fur. Their little dock tails and their adventures were fun for us all, as the blue-eyed pups were allowed to interrupt our plans. The unusual thing that these 2 friends did was to assume they were human and insist on a chair when we circled the campfire. They would join us there. Of course, there were blankets to go all around. It was never considered that they needed to be on the ground. Now we have memories that bring us the pleasure of 3 Weimaraners that we fondly did treasure. Of course, we did cry when they had to leave, but remembering their stories helped us to grieve.
Leaves of amber, bright red and rust, remind us once again that winter time is now a must. This beauty soon will end. The snow will fall, the winds will blow, the cold will come and go, all making way for sunny days we all are longing for. And now the buds will open up, the birds will start to sing, the rain will help the flowers grow to greet another spring. The summer soon will take its turn to fill our lives with fun, with happy days and many ways to soak up all that sun. Again time comes for cooler nights, and autumn shows its face by painting leaves with beauty bright. Oh, what a wondrous place. Each season's full, God's beauty shown, all spatial in his way. That's how I wish our hearts to be, full of love each precious day. When they nailed him to a cross, hung high for all to see, he promised to come back someday, and from our sins he'd set us free. He was placed into a tomb, oh, many years ago, but he would keep his precious word, and very soon the world would know. With love for us so mighty, that stone was rolled away, and because that tomb was empty, this happy heart is full today. My life would have no meaning without my Lord, you see. My heart could never know his love, and without love, where would I be? He's the peace within my heart, a hand along the way. Each step I take, he's there with me to hold me close if I should stray. My heart is full, I'm so glad that stone was rolled away. My heart is full, oh praise the Lord. This happy heart is full today.
There it is again. It hits without warning. It grabs hold like claws around your throat and squeezes that fear. Like sitting atop a roller coaster, the vibration goes through your fingertips and down to your toes and deep in your belly, that fear. Like you're plunging fast into a dark tunnel, but you're in your own bed, in your own room, alone with your thoughts, that fear. Like a lightning bolt from nowhere, you reach down to find where it came from, but come up with nothing, that fear. You clench your eyes tight, wishing that feeling inside would swiftly go away, but it grabs hold until it's quite done with you. Feel free to get a new glass for every drink of water and leave it half full in the room you just left with the lights on. By all means, leave your dirty socks in the middle of the floor and your shoes in the kitchen where the dishes remain untouched. I'd be happy to wash those jeans 6 times when you've only worn them once because you leave them on the floor to be wrinkled and stomped upon. Please, let me cook 4 different meals because no one can agree on the same thing and leave it all untouched on your plate. It's no trouble being your mother, day in and day out, morning and night. I want to kiss that face and then scream into a pillow at the top of my lungs.
Okay, I debated on whether to read this or not, and I'm going to go ahead and read the foreword that I wrote for the book. It says, when Janine and I first started working on this project, we had no idea that there'd be so many poets submit poems. We are pleasantly surprised and taken back that there are so many poets in the county, and oh, what talent they possess. I am very pleased with this collection and proud of our community, where so many outstanding poets reside and beautifully represent Madison County. I'm also honored and thankful to have worked with Janine on this amazing project. Not only did we include poets of the present, but we also included poets of the past. We thought they shouldn't be forgotten and should be part of a collection that celebrates our poetic history. It is my hope that a century from now, someone picks up a copy of the book at the library, and that's another reason I wanted to read that since we're at the library, or at an antique store and enjoys the echoes of poetry from the pages, just like I enjoyed poetic voices when I bought some old books at the antique mall that no longer exist. I hope at that time there are descendants that carry on the art of writing poetry that their ancestors once appreciated and valued. We had the pleasure of meeting some of the poets from this book at a photo shoot for photos that appear within. There were a mixture of young, middle-aged, and elderly poets. It was so nice to see that poetry is celebrated by all ages and that they are all aimed to keep it alive and thriving. As a rhymer, I was delighted to see so many rhyming poems submitted. Rhyming poetry is frowned upon by many journals of today. I am honored to carry on the tradition of the bards from so long ago by publishing works from present-day rhymers. I am also honored to include the free verse wordsmiths who break free of the traditional forms and paint the pictures of poetry within their minds in their own styles and ways so wonderfully. This collection is published within Indiana's bicentennial year. What a perfect time to celebrate our heritage with the poets of Madison County. Over a century's passed since this book of blue was first published with pages new. I turned to the page all faded and old of someone's memories that she had told, of a swing where she swung in a mulberry tree and the bonny brown bird of her reverie that sung gleeful notes as she rose in the air, higher, she said, than most would dare. In her childhood days amongst meadow and stream, where the lilies all day seem to float in a dream. In her mind she revisits the land heaven kissed, with sweet, sweet notes that she had missed, from the bonny brown bird in the mulberry tree, as she swings and swings to the lost melody. She reminisces, then sadness looms, for the beautiful land had met its doom. Though no child ever swings there in innocent glee, she swings with a smile in her memory. Saving Mother Nature should be our goal, so generations see days of old, where the bonny brown bird and the mulberry tree are not just someone's reverie.
Tell me what you see missing, and I'll tell you who you are. You can miss the sound of a sawmill, the smell of oak or cedar rising with the dusk. You can long for the taste of fresh chicken, though you were sick enough of it once. You can make yourself almost ill with the memory of the breath of a baby long gone along the length of your neck. You can see in your keen mind's eye the water's ripple when you throw the slick white stone, and you wish just once more you could take in the smell of your father's tobacco, the thing that put him early into the ground. You can even miss the taste of a bitter medicine, the sting of an old belt snapped across your bare back, as much as you miss the calm weight of an old dog, her inexplicable low howl in the dead of night. Who can say why we miss what we miss? We only know the familiar joys and sorrows we carry in our deepest pockets take on the same scent or odor, the sweet mix of regret. You can miss the feel of dry dust under your feet, the stir of an old spoon, the V of geese in an autumn sky, the hum and riff in an Easter hymn, the way your tongue used to catch on the dawn of a broken tooth. I consider the garden, the larkspurs that grow at the east corner near where the wild grass has killed the asters and the gladiolas raised a holy ruckus before they collapsed. I consider catching up all their swoons in my arms and standing on your porch draped with the blooms saying, "Look, just look." I consider the lake, the perch and bass just waiting to be caught, enjoying the danger, knowing we will throw them back. I consider the wake of the water, the pitch and glide of this little boat, the campfire I might well scratch out for you, listening as crickets rub legs together like sticks, just learning to sing. I consider the sky, the planets strewn up there on the world's dark felt, patient as sleepers and just as strange and warm. I consider rousing them to come with me to surprise you at dawn, to spin you in the gray morning their reminders of the dauntless swing and sway of the unseen. But this winter the glads are ghosts and planets decline my invitation. So I consider our bodies, the firm offerings of urge and elbow, lungs and larynx, leaning together like lovers against each other to work toward a fragile tower of wonder. I consider your body, frail as fire, and mine, fierce and certain as ash.
2x2s is the beginning. Building blocks, this is new. Moving rocks, building memories, breaking ground. Our itineraries are all around. Building love out of the blue as we push and shove something we decided to do. As we build, hard work will we endure. We never shield what is so pure. We've done this before. Hard work is what we do. As we open another door, another adventure is so true. Cabin fever could have never have happened without you. All through time, she is a poet that loves to rhyme. Although free verse, they say, is poetry of today, there was a time when music and poetry would always rhyme. Once upon a time, even fairy tales and folk music would even rhyme. Poets of the past, are they forgotten, the forgotten last? As days, even years, have gone by, some poets try, but can't find the rhyme. It's all up to Father Time to find the next wordsmith that likes to rhyme. Then he found her. Is she the cure? The words she speaks are so pure. She is the love of my life, who eventually became my wife. She writes beautiful poetry, always in rhyme. Thank you, Father Time, for bringing back poetry of the past, and the most amazing thing of all, sending me the love of my life, forever it shall last. Happy Valentine's Day to my loving wife. I love you, Stacy.
Papa wears worn tweed suits and shaves himself every morning with a chic electric razor and listens to Fred Allen on the radio by himself or with Mama, and is the strict air raid warden. He effortlessly mows the lawn on Saturday and then argues with the scraggle weeds that hug the walls of our beautiful aqua gray Victorian house, the weeds that never feel a bit of shame. He sits mornings with the paper and talks professorially with my striped cat, who doesn't care about the war or politics, but she does care about bits of breakfast offered from Papa's morning plate. He goes to the basement at odd moments to check on the ancient hot coil water heater, or to kick the furnace in silence, or to think about getting everyone to move down there where they'll be safe if the Germans come, if the world threatens to really truly end, if he can't take worrying one more night, restless atop his white cotton sheets, alongside his sturdy wife. Papa yells at the neighbor kids if they are lazy, tells them to study or play or help their mothers, thinking to himself that they too may soon be gone. He pets my blonde braided head with love when the Andrews sisters sing between slugs of news about our boys. He sits with our brown slobbery bulldog on his lap, on the porch steps sometimes after Mama's fed them dinner, his gentle hands on Tim's shoulders while he remembers another war, and the dog is content with him, for him, mouth breathing into the orange of the setting sun, until Papa decides at last that all will eventually be right with the world, perhaps for my generation or another generation someday. Mr. Potato Head, still boxed, still sealed in cello from decades past, sits dustily on my headboard, his various parts forever suspended in a white plastic foam. He's never met a potato yet, never met the Mrs. or Pete Pepper or Oscar the Orange, Katie the Carrot or Frenchie Fry. He's never known the cold sensation of plunging eyes and nose and swollen red lips into raw, crisp vegetation, never felt the completeness of facial arrangement other than that one static expression, and I feel sorry for him. Some nights before my lamp is twisted off, I see Mr. P and I pause while the room still glows. A tremble comes as I think of the potatoes in the root cellar. I imagine the loamy odors of old onion and chilled tubers. And then I picture my thumb breaking the fragile seal on Mr. Potato Head's Playhouse box, and I almost do it. I almost set him free, almost carry him to his new potato body, where he can change his perpetual smile into a frown, into a scowl at his decades of confinement. But I resist. The dimly lit basement is so very far away, and my night of guilty sleep so very, very near. In my dreams, I see him dancing, twirling on his kneeless plastic legs, happily making frowny faces or inserting his nose where his hat should be. And in the morning when I sit at the edge of my bed, I think I see him raise one black felt eyebrow at me before he slips back to 1953.
Tisha Jane. She kept a neat house, did Tisha Jane. No dust bunnies under her beds. Stripped and washed every Monday with carried well water, heated on the stove. She kept a cow milk twice a day, providing cream and butter for sale. She tended garden, children and grandchildren, also her flock of chickens. Pap and she came north in 1939 from eastern Appalachian, Tennessee, leaving a married daughter behind. Her sons and daughters mourned their southern roots and cried at the cold spring. I stayed a few days when I was 5, watching round-eyed as she'd milk, told not to squeeze the baby chicks, stay away from the hog, he'd bite. At night, with no light pollution, a billion crystals across night's back, flung on the Milky Way's shining sash, lit our way to the outhouse.
Watch a little boy at his play. His imagination steals him away. He's pretending to be Superman today.
Don't you cherish the sound of his giggles while trying your best to ignore his wiggles? Each morning he's wound up like a clock. He just keeps going until made to stop. He loves to climb, jump, and run. Oh, he's having such great fun. He throws his toys all over the floor, then searches his toy box to see if there's more. When it's time for bed, he resists with all his might. He's determined to stall bedtime again tonight. One more story, Mommy, then I'll go to sleep. Okay, my little man, then not another peep. Good night prayers and hugs real tight. I love you, Mommy. Good night. My little charmer, my little miss, can melt my heart with her butterfly kiss. She plays for hours with her china tea set. Her stuffed pink bunny is her favorite pet. She can be sweet as an angel or cross as a bear. I hope she knows how very much I care. How fun it was to dress her in frilly clothes. She'd rather wear her jammies, heaven knows. She has a way of stealing my heart. Oh, how the tears will flow when she must depart. One day her daddy will walk her down the aisle. She'll wear a lace gown and a beautiful smile. So glad I have pictures so I can recall her precious childhood days. I love them all.
Fall is my favorite time of the year. Look on the windows, Jack Frost is here. The leaves are falling red, yellow, and gold. It's getting kind of chilly, gonna turn cold. The yards are covered, the trees are getting bare. Put on your jackets, there's a bite in the air. Cut up the logs and warm the fireplace. The warm flames cast a glow on your face. And get out the candy as you have before. It's time for trick-or-treaters to knock on your door. In their silly costumes, can you guess who they are? Ted, no John, shoot, I missed it by far. Give them a little treat and watch them go. Eat a little now, but save some for tomorrow. Halloween's over, a new month has begun, and you begin to wonder, where is the sun? It gets colder with each day that goes by, shorter each day, much longer each night. So get up early and turn that oven on. It's Thanksgiving. Loved ones will be here for too long. So baste that big turkey and get him in to bake. Make cranberry salad and stir up a cake. Perk a fresh pot of coffee and bake that pumpkin pie. Add your homemade bread, it's the best by and by. Candy the yams and prepare the dressing. Oh yes, and remember, thank God for his blessing. Oh, my beautiful one, lover of my soul, he whose beauty doth outshine the sun. Oh, how my soul doth long to be with thee. Come quickly, my beloved, rapture me, take me away, as I do not know how long I can bear the separation. Oh, how my heart doth cry within me, how my soul doth burn with such passion for thee. Oh, to see thy lovely face, and to have thee draw me close to thee, to stretch forth thy mighty arms, yet oh so gently pull me close and embrace me, like you'll never let me go. Why waitest thou, my beautiful one? Thou knowest my desire to be with thee, face to face, soul to soul, hand in hand, to never more part. I know thy love for me is deeper than mine could ever be. My heart will not allow me to cease thinking of thee. Day and night, night and day, eternally. Lover of my soul, come quickly, I await thee.
Well, I know a girl named Sammy Jo with great big eyes, birdie button nose, cute little dimples that she likes to show. You love her right from the start. When she starts smiling, saying, Daddy, please, well, it makes me get down on my knees. Look her in the eyes, give her a squeeze, let her know that you want my heart. What do you think about a kid like that? Cute as a puppy, clever as a cat, listen real close, she tell you where it's at. What do you think about a kid like that? She likes going shopping for new shirt and pants, listens to the dead and does a snake dance, plays my guitar when she's got the chance. She's a doll, I'm telling you what. Plays with her Barbies like to dress them up, and drinks from a Mickey and Minnie Mouse cup. Think I'll keep her around, she brings me good luck, she's a little more special than not. What do you think about a kid like that? Cute as a puppy, never as a cat, listen real close, she tell you where it's at. What do you think about a kid like that? right by. She's getting real tall. Looks me in the eye, throws her arms around my neck with a smile so wide. Recalling some things that I'd said, like helping her learn the ABCs, or going to the park reading poetry. Now go brush your teeth, and if you please, say a prayer before you go to bed. What do you think about a kid like that? Cute as a puppy, clever as a cat. Listen real close, she tell you where it's at. What do you think about a kid like that? What do you think about a kid like that? What do you think about a kid like that? Laying down quietly sleeping, dreaming his dreams that keeps him in touch. Soon he'll be up with arms stretched out real wide, saying, Daddy, I'll always love you this much. And I'll smile when I see his arms stretched out real wide. Yeah, I'll smile when I see that old fisherman's boat. Standing on a rock in a slow-moving river, his love will last as long as it flows. Well, there's something about a boy and a birthday, a book and a brain that he likes to use. But a thought in his head and a smile in his heart, there's nothing in the world that he can't do. And I'll smile when I see his arms stretched out real wide. Yeah, I'll smile when I see that old fisherman's boat. Standing on a rock in a slow-moving river, his love will last as long as it flows. Well, sometimes I tell him, you are the man. He'll smile real big and point up above. I try to teach him all about life, but mostly I try to teach him about love. And I'll smile when I see his arms stretched out real wide. Yeah, I'll smile when I see that old fisherman's boat. Standing on a rock in a slow-moving river, his love will last as long as it flows. Remember them feelings you had as a kid, when something brand new made you feel so alive. And the feeling hung around just a little bit longer ever since he come into my life. And I smile when I see his arms stretched out real wide. Yeah, I smile when I see that old fisherman's boat. Standing on a rock in a slow-moving river, his love will last as long as it flows. And I smile when I see his arms stretched out real wide. Yeah, I smile when I see that big boy of mine. Standing on a rock in a slow-moving river, his love will last through the ages of time.
Now by the light of the quarter moon, I could make out the shape of the possum come waddling out of the tool shed through strange pools of light and dark on his nightly journey to nowhere. Old codger, old bumbler, leftover bundle of impractical genes, the only surviving North American marsupial who has been chased by innumerable dogs, stalked by coyotes and tomcats, beaten by children, shot at by boys with air rifles, who now ventures forth on his rounds as dim and pale as a silver moon. Old throwback, crusader, landlocked coelacanth, consort to dinosaurs, closest thing to a fossil that still moves about. And in one moment, rare flares up and hisses like a snake, showing all those jagged 50 teeth, and in the next falls dead and lets children beat it with sticks. And dogs toss it like a bundle of rags, but always there is something alive inside, some primordial creature, some instinct for survival that hangs on, biding its time. Old faker, old doormat, you who were born to be kicked, who keep coming back for more. You've kept coming back unchanged for 50 million years, as though working off some unbelievably bad karma. What is it you want? Living here among us like a curse, a reminder, an embarrassment. What is it you seek now? With the moon glinting in the eastern sky, the trees full of shadow, and those impossibly icy stars overhead.
I like to enter sleep as a crocodile, breaking the surface to startle a flock of dreams into the night sky. And they flutter from my snapping jaws while I try to pull them down for a midnight snack before drifting off to find the shore of morning. When mine left their cocoons and diapers behind, moving quickly into princess dresses and fairy dust, I learned that butterflies had blue eyes and loose-toothed smiles, with wings that flutter dry in the summer sun, then launch them giggling across the yard. I realized that too soon they will grow up, discovering the world does not end at the garden post, that life continues for them beyond the rhubarb, wind pumping under their wings as the years flutter by, and little girls will shortly bid farewell to the dandelions and violets of our backyard, leaving me behind to live in the memory of their magical flight.
We walk hand in hand to take comfort in quaint familiarity. I fill out tickets for the raffle I've never won in all these years. The kids want to ride rides, you know, and we limit them to 2, maybe 3 apiece. A carnival worker buckles our 2 youngest into dingy fiberglass swings connected by decade-old chains, and we wonder about his knuckles, one set spelling hate, the other love. We stroll without purpose through the vendor alley where belt buckles, rebel bandanas, pastel tutus, and beer bottle wind chimes, spelled bear bottle, wind chimes are sold. And that's when the stress of the work week leaves us hungry in a primal sort of way. And we eat fried, sugary dough and Polish sausages topped with sauteed onions while our kids whine for face painting and balloon animals. We see and hug former classmates, and after they walk on, we retell the stories, now almost myths, about us and them and the things we did. We explain once again to our kids the economics of carny games and why we don't play them, especially the ones with goldfish or live bunnies for prizes. We walk by a roped off muddy hole and thank the stars we're not the mud wrestling types, yet privately, we think how fun it would be to watch from a distance. We stroll through the big vendor tent where wicker baskets and toll painting can be found, replacement windows are pushed. In the square, high school kids pose in front, one for another like animals in the wild, caught up in a benign ritual of courtship. Cloaked live-action role players brandishing foam swords mount attacks from the hill at dusk, but fear not, for they are easily repelled by eye contact and smiles. Summer has waned in this one evening. One last ride? We still have tickets, they say, and so we watch them being strapped in again, and we relish their singularity. But it's a tiny girl in pink in the swing behind them who pricks all our hearts when she signs. I'm so excited, to her smiling, non-hearing parents standing next to us. Finally, at dark, all our kids, teen and small, coax us, as if it was our first time, into riding the lopsided tractor wagon, made to resemble a drunken horse with a bad leg. And we do it too, for a quarter were now 50 cents, only to walk home bow-legged, wobbly and tired, and laughing.
The wheat is in, the corn is hot, the old cows graze on grass that's dry. The hay is stacked, haze veils the eye, and my loyal dog lies idly by. I find myself in thoughts that wander across the fields and roaming yonder through pasture and woods and along the stream. I lose myself in a slow-paced dream. Midsummer's come, high listless sun, and it's time to work on the fences. At day's end, when the sun drops low, there comes a treasured glow of golden hue that calms one's view and soothes the restless soul. The inner din is gently hushed. The need to rush is waned. Cares and fears are dropped or lost, and ease of mind gained. It's often then that lovers reach to hold each other's hand, and sailors gaze out from the deck without a thought of land. And those who toil may stop a while, and those who play may slow, and those who wander feel they've come upon a place of home. And those at war may feel a peace that swells from deep within, and those in peace a comfort feel that warms the heart again. The golden hour, its magic is a spell cast broad upon all those who pause and for some moments dwell within its space wherein to find the time when all is well. When I learned to swim, the first stage was simply to touch the water, not to check the temperature, but to test its stability. It gave way. But I would see people and other things that could sink into it without being engulfed and survive, perhaps even thrive. So I spent many hours near the water, watching. And eventually I was courageous enough to get in, though I still held firmly to something which I knew would not float away nor disappear beneath the surface. Now I can swim. I do not fear the water because I learned to let go.
On the banks of Fall Creek, I stand watching the water flow under the Kelly Green Bridge. Through the limestone ledges it goes, over the top of the falls and ridges to the turbulent waters below. A pool of white foamy bubbles appear, the sun pushing through the mist just so, making a colorful misty rainbow clear. Across the basin to the other side, the silhouette of a stone maker resides. 3 white men were hung and died for taking 9 Native American lives. Pendleton in 1830 became a town where once was a favorite swimming pool. A park and walking trails are now found. It's often frequented by the local school. Beautiful falls, a pond, and lighthouse are near. Now a museum, playground, and ball diamonds dwell. Festivals of all kinds put on throughout the year, welcoming all the locals and visitors as well to stand at the falls with all of this mystique, watching from the banks of Fall Creek.
My grandmother imparted healing songs the night she danced in the moonlight, her long white hair unrestrained, her feet demanding answers from the soft dirt, her voice an unknown tongue lifting praise, her body, her movements, her essence becoming prayer. I wonder if my words describe the sheer beauty and wildness of the event. I wonder if her passion vibes my veins. I wonder if I carry her madness inside as I dance, hesitantly at first. In the moonlight, barefoot and hidden among the corn, I am freckled and pale and shy.
As I drive down Jackson Street to visit my mother, who still lives in our hometown,
The places I pass take me back in time. I'm standing on my tiptoes, peeking over the counter in the tiny restaurant on Broadway and Vine, while my pregnant mom waits to satisfy her craving with a juicy roast beef sandwich that is often imitated but never duplicated. Anybody know who that is? Art, all right. I drive by Shadyside, where I am rolling down the hills with my brothers, and we are daring each other to go in the tunnel under the street. Anybody remember the tunnel under the street? I laugh as I drive by the old milk factory, where one of the workers convinced my classmates and me that chocolate milk comes from black and white cows. I smile at Big Boy, still standing where my mom worked as a car hop on roller skates. I drive slowly through downtown, where the steeples still make me look towards the sky in awe and wonder. I pass St. John's Hospital, where I was born, then think about Community, where my grandmother died. I miss you, Grandma. As I turn, I see the original Arts, then feel the wind in my hair and hear the ice cream truck as I pedal my tricycle on the sidewalk in front of our house on Fletcher Street. So much family history and happy memories that make me feel like a kid again in our hometown. Who would have ever guessed all those years ago when I read The Bridges of Madison County that I would become intertwined with that world in the most peculiar way? We all have choices to make that determine our destiny. I could have walked away from my responsibilities, pursued my dream of moving to Nashville to become a country music queen. But I stayed and let the words in my head become songs in my heart. And now, life has come full circle to where I am once again making a choice, crossing the bridge this time to become a poet of Madison County.
First of all, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out here. It means a lot to me. It's kind of neat when you have an idea for a project and then it goes through to a book and then you have all these people out here. It's really cool to me. And I also want to let you guys know that I do several different projects. My next one I plan on doing is going to be about pet cats and dogs. And the proceeds from that will go to Ernie's Pet Pantry here in Anderson. So if you get on Facebook and go to my page, what's it called? Poetry Contest for a Cause. If you get on there and like the page, you'll see the updates for my different projects. And if you don't have Facebook, you can shoot me an email at stacysavage@yahoo.com, and then I'll just let you know when I start on that project if you're interested. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been really fun, and you guys are great, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you.